Welcome back to the ASUS ROG Dreamleague Season 2. This is Week 2 of the Asian Division. I'm Luminous, your host today. And joining me alongside is Wepus, Andy, and James.
Hello.
How are you guys doing today?
Pretty good. Excuse me a second. Who's the captain here?
That'd be me. I'm the host.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry. I just need to check something because something doesn't appear. What's your nickname again?
David Luminous Sang.
Yeah, you're there. Okay.
Right.
And who's your team?
Andy Drasko Styles.
Yeah, I have a Draskell here. I have a
James
Draskell.
Too Good Harding.
I have a Too Good. And
Johan.
Well, I don't have a Johan here.
I mean, he's got to be there. He's my left hand.
He's not. Like you have Too Good, Luminous, Draskell, and Bruno. There's no Johan.
I mean,
are you playing with a stand-in? Well, here's the thing.
honorary member.
No, that doesn't work. It's not in the rules. Like the rules said that you have to play with the same amount of stand-ins of every other studio.
Okay.
And Beyond the Summit and Join Dota, they're not using any stand-ins, so you cannot use any stand-ins. I'm afraid you'll have to either play with your full cast.
They play with 10 stand-ins every day.
Maybe, but just not today. So
Okay.
I'm afraid that actually you will have to either play with the real people or go to loser's bracket.
All right, well, there will be an angry Reddit thread about this.
I think you have to go.
You heard about this on Reddit, motherfucker. Anyway, I thought you went to bed.
The sprites are keeping him alive, and they keep going in deeper. They come in and now lose their beam stuns. They're going in deeper, Alliance. All the heroes are born. Cloud9 after a second failed buyback attempt to hold the Roshan. Lose the game to Alliance.
Welcome back to the ASUS ROG Dreamleague Season 2. I'm your host, Luminous, and welcome back, Bruno.
How's it going?
It's I've been missing you.
Yeah, I know, right?
I haven't seen you for the past 4 days.
You were trying to dodge me, but you can't get away from me.
We thought you went to bed.
Well, I did take a nap, but I'm okay now.
Okay.
So that's fine.
And of course, joining me, we have Andy and James. How are you guys doing? How's your weekend?
Too soon, man.
Too
soon.
What?
No, nothing.
Oh.
Oh, I see.
Oh, we're doing very well.
You're not the carry, by the way.
I am the carry.
I've seen you play. You only play one hero.
And I carry.
You play support, though.
James played a solo Medusa with us the other day, and he, in fact, carried.
Yeah,
with the most awkward Dusa build I've ever seen.
It's the Wagamama build.
Yeah, it is actually the Wagga build. I saw it on the stream, and I was like, it makes a lot of sense. You do, like, yeah, you get, like, Phase, Aquila, Bottle with your mid, and then you go into
Mask of
Demon
Madness.
Edge. Oh, yeah, Mask of Madness, then a Demon Edge, then Mithril Hammer, finish at your BKB, finish Rapier, someone jumps you, you press BKB, pop your ulti, and Mask of Madness, and you go ham.
Yeah.
And you win.
It's good.
It worked.
We did.
And then you go rapier.
It was fun. Like, we played family Dota.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it, and I was amazing at drafting. I finished up Lumi's draft because he was going nowhere.
Look, I was picking other things, and you're like, all right, let's draft this. But anyways, we'll talk more about that later. This is Asian Division.
It is.
I'm very excited.
Are you?
Yes.
How excited are you?
On a scale of 1 to 10,
Yeah.
like a 7.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
That's not too exciting.
I mean, that's very excited for me.
I know. And
we have 4 teams.
we have 40. Really?
We do.
Not 5?
You want me to list them?
Please.
All right, we got MVP Phoenix. They qualified.
Yeah.
They got LGD, IG, and Team Malaysia.
Okay, that's good.
That's
You
4
should probably
teams.
tell DreamHack who that.
Right,
I don't think they got the memo.
I'll go backstage, yeah.
Yeah, that's actually 2 Chinese teams, 1 Malaysian team, and 1 Korean team.
Yeah, it's a very like diverse group, and that's how Asians are. And with that, we have a very accurate depiction of how Asia is with this video. Welcome back to the studio.
I'm hyped after that.
Yeah, I am too.
I'm
Stoked.
I'm not sure I understood the message. Which division is this again?
Asian Division.
Right.
Yes.
Good to know.
And to talk about today's games in the Asian Division,
Right.
we have IG versus MVP.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, IG versus MVP.
Good,
Double
good.
checking.
Yeah, just to make sure, right?
Yeah.
And how many games do you have today?
We have 3 best of 1s.
Right.
And why not a best of 3? Bruno?
I don't know why not best of 3.
I mean,
I can
You're
tell you
asking him like he's designed the
All right,
tournament.
yeah, let me ask you different.
Why?
Bruno, what is the difference between?
I see. So 3 best of 1s, you actually have to play the 3 games. Even if
Okay.
you win the first 2. And in best of 3, you win 2, you're out. You get home. So it means you actually have to work more.
Great.
But you get a point per win.
Yeah.
So, you know, you can get 3 points off another team. You're only going to play them 3 times, you know, which you do on daily basis, Monday to Wednesday. And, yeah, so it's kind of nice because it's nice to see, like, OK, if you actually go 2 maps down, you know, which normally, like, in the best of 3, you're out in terms of, like, OK, you definitely lost that. You have a chance of getting a point back. So if you're a team that actually can play closer, those 3 games is quite nice.
And we kind of saw that last week when the VP was when the 2 VP teams were going against each other. One VP team got 2 losses, and then the 3rd game they level 1 roached them. It's like, you know what? We're so far behind anyways. Let's just go for Hail Mary.
That almost got them into the qualifiers.
Yeah, it made a big difference until day 3.
Yeah, especially, but yeah. They actually could have gone out of that. But that was Europe East, and now we have the Asian qualifier, the Asian region as well. And it's not going to be VP or VP Polar or VP Classic or VP New. We're going to go about IG versus MVP. Now, you're Chinese.
Yes, I am.
Tell me about IG.
What?
Tell me about IG.
All right. Well, IG is also Chinese.
Yes.
They were TI2 champions. And they're pretty good. Since then, they changed a couple of members. Luo is now their carry. Well, been the carry since last year. 430 still playing mid. Jun is now their new off lane. Chuan is still Chuan. And Chisbug is their new support.
So when we see this team, I mean, we see still like Ferrari, one of the best solo mids out there. Luo didn't get along with Chuan like a year ago, but since then, the things have to be working out, and he's a pretty decent carry.
Or not, you know.
Or not?
Who knows? I mean, you presented one possibility. I'm saying simply the other possibility.
Fair enough. Yeah. I mean, if they are actually not getting along, it doesn't show in their games. Because they haven't been doing pretty poorly. I mean,
Yeah, they haven't been doing
well.
too well either.
Well, the thing
Sorry, I just watched chat watch the movie. It's so good. I wanted production to play it twice.
What's your opinion on IG, James?
I don't care.
We were just watching the reactions, man.
Fair enough.
All right.
Actually, IG is doing pretty well. The only Chinese team they actually couldn't defeat in the near past was Newbie, with which they tied 1-1.
Yep.
Other ones, like all the other teams that were beaten recently, they actually were beaten 2-0 and 2-1 by LGD just now. But they also beat them before 1 week ago, 2-0. So it's kind of hard to say whether like they're better or worse than LGD, but it seems like aside of Newbie, that seems to be like a tiny step above the rest, and maybe VG Gaming that is kind of competing there. Every other Chinese team is kind of like fair game.
Right.
And they can all beat each other. Now you introduce MVP Phoenix into that equation, and now it gets interesting because MVP Phoenix, even though they're dominating in Korea, then we have like this disparity between Korea and the rest of the world, which we only get to see at the international, like how big that disparity is. And now we're going to get them to see what will happen between these two teams.
When the Koreans actually have to fight against IG and LGD in this group stage. Yeah, it should be interesting. And speaking of MVP Phoenix, let's actually look at who they are. Obviously, we are very familiar with March, but there's also Forev, QO, Reason.
I think it's Ryzen.
Whatever.
They're not Chinese, so I can't pronounce. And of course, Reason. There you go.
Like
Reason.
Yeah.
Reason with me.
Emotion and reason.
I see.
Yeah.
So shout out to MVP Phoenix. They actually went to Philippines and took down a LAN tournament there in Cebu.
Wasn't it rigged?
It wasn't.
Okay.
Actually, pretty close games. I had the pleasure of casting it. So not only are they really good in Korea, they're really dominant in sea. So I feel like...
in the sea, but not in the land.
Yeah, just in the sea.
Yeah, good.
So, but you know.
I want them to do really well just to kind of like prove the point again that Korea plays really good video games.
Yeah.
Well, they worked really hard, like
Yeah,
ridiculously
yeah.
hard. You could even see their improvement from like prior to TI4 and then into TI4. I mean, sure, it's like they didn't do amazing, but they showed how much they can improve in such a short amount of time.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it is a team that you want to root for. And March, he's the one that kind of stands out as a really stable player and sometimes a playmaker. So looking forward to see what he brings to the table. But I'm not actually like expecting him to like go top of this division by any means.
Do you think they'll make it out of the group?
Even that is...
It's hard to say, though.
It's like... If things... It's like, I'm not sure what style of Dota they're playing with the new patch. You know, but I think they might be adapting quicker than some of the other teams like IG and LGD.
Well,
you know,
Chinese teams normally, like if you look at from the first TI, like Dota 2 came out. I mean, even though they performed really well, it was actually Navi, a European team that adapted faster and understood what Dota 2 with 45 hero was.
Navi also had like 3 months of the game, and Chinese had like 2 weeks.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
But then TI2, you got like Dota 2, it was there for a while, Chinese teams dominated. Then I don't know if you remember, after TI2 there was this big patch that changed a lot of things, mainly like swapping the neutrals, like a lot of things changed. And that was like back to Western Dota to adapt first, and the Chinese kind of fell back. TI4, again, and now we have a big patch that changes everything again. So I kind of agree with James, like maybe it's like these teams, they need some time to actually work and understand all these things. I mean, we even see some of the teams playing like very 6.281 lineups.
Sure.
And personally, I haven't been following MVP Phoenix.
MVP Phoenix, they actually been doing the same thing. They have been doing so. They haven't been adapting yet. At least at the heroes they're selecting. They're still doing Bristleback. Yeah. They're still doing Warlock carry. So that's kind of their go-to thing.
But Warlock
and
carry?
they're losing.
Well, no, they're winning with it.
They're
at least
lose.
in C, maybe not in LAN. But you know, when you get Aghanim's Refresher and Warlock, it's pretty inevitable. At least how I see it.
Where do they lane? Like mid or?
Sometimes they put it mid. Most times they put it safe lane. But that's like a month ago. I don't know.
I don't know, man. I just think like Warlock's time between ultis is just painful.
It's like 3 minutes, yeah.
And it's like this patch for me is like you want 2 initiators. You want, like, honest to God, like when I watch people play that have like a backup plan in terms of how the fights are going to play out, you always want like 2. Okay. And like we played the game yesterday, and I was like,
we had Batrider and Wraith King.
Yeah, you pick Batrider, and then as one of the first picks, and I was like, okay, we need like a carry that actually wants to get a Blink Dagger, and we were like, okay, let's get a Wraith King, because that way, even if the Batrider initiates and gets a bad initiation, the Wraith King can also follow up, and then it's the same with like Void. You know, that's what Void's been doing. Void's one initiation without a Blink, and then you often get something else with it that can play around the ulti. And I think that teams that aren't prioritizing just like fighting well and actually getting fights on your terms are essentially going to be losing. And I don't think Warlock can force a fight. Like, even if you can force a fight, like, hey, we're at your tower, you know, and we have ulti available, it's like you can actually play around that. You don't need to take that fight if you don't want to, because it's not necessarily that they want to drop ulti just to take a tower. They won't.
Okay, here's the thought. If you build, like, forget the Warlock, and you build 4 other heroes to really, really, like, force team fights without the Warlock.
Like a puck or something.
Like a puck, like
Puck's
just...
great. LC's great.
So the thing is, like, if you have those heroes, they're just having the Warlock as a 5th, just because of the fact you have Fatal Bonds, means that it's going to synergize very well with any kind of fighting lineup.
Yeah, yeah, that's fine. But you're saying that the Warlock is kind of like one core, and the other 2 cores are going to have to do the initiation.
Yeah.
And the Warlock is there to say if you counter-initiate or try and jump into us, you're going to get hit. Okay, but that's still you're still playing around a 3-minute cooldown. And I think a good team will take advantage of you every time.
Yeah,
yeah, I would agree with that.
IG is definitely one of those teams that has the experience. I mean, they've been around forever. The sad thing is they lost Faith, which to me is kind of the mastermind behind the team. So I don't know exactly who's the drafter, the captain, the in-game voice. Maybe Chuan, because he's got a big voice.
Yeah.
So
maybe Luo.
Maybe Luo.
I mean, we're talking about possibilities here. Right?
That is a possibility.
Like
Name all 5 members of the team, guys.
Like those Warlock styles of lineups that you're talking about, it is about the 5-man into the tower. That's how you force the fight. And the thing is, even though a team might be able to do something between the 3-minute cooldowns, those 3-minute cooldowns guarantee pretty much that you should be able to do something. And sure, if it goes south, it goes south. But I think this patch, more than anything else, shows that the consistency of fighting and like 5-manning is really, really strong.
Yeah, it's huge.
So I don't really see anything wrong with the Warlock picks necessarily, depending on how they run it. But I also know they love picking DP and things like that too, which I still think is ridiculously strong. So
I would favor a DP over a Warlock any day of the week.
Yeah, I just think that those style of strategies in general are still strong.
Yeah, but like you just need to be able to have a better fighting lineup, and that's not hard to get with some of the heroes.
Yeah,
you know, it's
maybe.
like it's really like the glyph reset on the towers offers you a little bit more time. In terms of getting your items up. So if you want to pick something that will slam a Warlock, like just completely destroy it, you know, it's like you can get that Wraith King, that LC for initiation, and it's like, yeah, okay, you use your ulti, and if you don't use it, you're going to be dead. So you have to use it, and now it's not an optimal ulti because, you know, it's like Warlock is a very like positional hero. It kind of plays similar to how you play a silencer in terms of position. You're kind of like the counter initiation.
Right.
I'm getting the feeling that James doesn't like Warlock.
Huh? No, I like Warlock. Like, I used to pick Warlock support a lot.
Yeah, I remember that.
But it really, you know, I did like the, what I used to do the upheaval build.
That's the best build, I think.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, and that was me way back in the day, man. I played with Sing Sing. He told me off a lot for doing it, actually, at the time. Because I didn't get Fatal Bonds until much later. Right. And then sometimes I didn't get it at all just to piss him off because he kept on asking me to get it. And he was like, you know, if you had Fatal Bonds, we would have won that fight. I was like, yeah. But look at how many golems they hit.
How awesome would it be if we just, like, cut the show here and go home? That would be something very special. Damn it. I was told by production that we can't do that. But I wanted to ask Andy.
Yes.
Okay.
I wanted to ask Andy.
Inside joke.
Yeah, of course. You've been playing a little bit of 682C right now. I mean, there were a lot of nerfs. How do you feel about these 681 heroes that got nerfed again, like DP and...
I think that as far as pub play goes, the nerfs are definitely good for pub play because I think that 5-manning was actually a little bit too strong just solely in pub games. I mean, we're talking like even ranked to a certain extent. It's so easy to just group up as 5 and just mow down tier 1s, even with the glyph change. Right. Being able, like all your tier 1s being able to glyph every single one. Well, that doesn't necessarily matter depending on some lineup. Sometimes you're just going to have a team that can't defend and you're just going to lose all your attitude towers, just like always. So I think the DP ult cooldown nerf is definitely warranted in that sense. And in competitive play, you still are a well-oiled machine when it comes to what you want to accomplish. So it's not like there's any drastic change in the gameplay of the hero. That's why people were still picking it. Because you guarantee it's like, boom, level 11, we take this team fight at this tower, we push it, we get our objective, you know? So I still feel like it's just as strong.
Well, I think the big difference is something that James brought up earlier with the Warlock ultimate. Now that you get tagged on 20 more seconds of cooldown, it gives the other team 20 more seconds to do whatever. And I think the big difference, at least in my pub games, is that sure you have the glyph to defend the tier 1, but my teammates are never behind the tower when they should be. Like, you know, by the time you're behind the tower's already like at 100 health. And you can glyph it, but that tower's going down regardless.
A lot of people lose team fights under towers just because of that sole reason.
Right.
Like, if you're not in position and ready to take that moment of opportunity to shut down that tower push, because even if DP is ultis up, even at level 11 or level 6, if you get the right initiation, you will shut a DP down so quickly.
Yeah.
You know, like, especially DPs that, like, you know, sometimes we go for the Yules or something, you know, we're a little bit squishy on HP. You can shut them down, but you just need to be prepared, and also, you know, that's why, like, Centaur Warrunner, I think, is a great pick this patch. Just like to be able to get on the targets that you need to get, because if you don't, it's painful. Because if you allow them to get, if they're on your tower in position and they blatantly don't see that you have a good positioning to defend, it's like you shouldn't defend it now.
Yeah.
Like even if you've all turned up and you're like 5 seconds too late on a couple of heroes, you should not defend. You should just let it go and try and, you know, control the map. Because those push lineups, it's like with the extra bit of time, you know, pro players are incredibly efficient when it comes to, you know, farm rotations. And if you're picking a team that needs to get people farmed, you often have certain players in your lineup that maybe not good at team fighting, but are good at pickoffs. And that's when you have to take that time between towers. So, I don't know. I think Dota's going to get a lot more interesting as people find out, you know, what they need to do. And I think fighting is where it's at. Which I like. I love the patch.
Yeah, it is.
I think it's already much more fun to watch than 681.
Yeah.
What about the whole, like, average game length is 10 minutes longer kind of thing?
It's not that much. It's like 5.
Okay.
The thing is, the games might be longer, but there's still more going on in the games. So even if the game is like a 50-minute game, if there's 100 kills, it's still fun to watch.
You should watch like kills per minute as well in the games, because it's probably much higher right now.
But I think cores now kind of have, you know, like we used to say, like, games are won by supports.
Yep.
I actually think now there's a few cores that, just because of the way they can fight in team fights, can win you the game. You know, like Kunkka, Ember Spirit. You know, in terms of the amount of, like, burst damage they can put out in team fights, they can turn the game into your favor, more so somewhat than supports used to be able to, because your supports were so reliant on keeping someone safe, and their rotations were overly important. But it doesn't, you know, you pick cores that are kind of more self-sufficient now, I believe.
I actually want to add to that, like, even though I agree with you, also we are seeing something that we didn't see before.
We're totally not just trying to fill time. And
no, please, this is actually real important discussion here, guys. Right. So please don't get sidetracked. What I was gonna try to say is supports, like we see now, for example, EG playing support heroes as cores, just because like getting someone which doctor carries and like Jakiro farming Jakiros, just the fact that you can have a support that still brings a lot of utility through their own spells without needing like a lot of items. If you give them a lot of items, then suddenly you have a core that can do pretty much everything for the team, and then you can get like very aggressive supports to accompany that and just like carries that farm and win the game just by right-clicking.
Well, the other thing, too, is a lot of people, even though they reduced the bounty on tower gold and such when 6.2 came out, in the sense that, like, you're not going to get 5,000 gold from killing all the other 2 towers anymore, you're going to get, like, 3,500 or maybe even less than that now. So the other thing, too, is the bounty rune change allows other people to pick up bottle on the team, which means less base time, more efficiency on the map. So getting the map control to a certain extent is even more important, because instead of having to go back to base after, like, executing a gank or something, you get both runes, and you can stay on the enemy side of the map, because, like, you know, it's just...
If I was on a tower pushing team with, like, a DP and I was a Skywrath mage, I would be very tempted and would want to pick up a bottle. Because in terms of mana efficiency as a support Skywrath mage, getting a bottle, you know, when you have map control, it's pretty huge. Because then you're always a threat. You know, if someone's pushing out a lane too far and you're there with somebody, you know, you only need 2 people to sometimes to take advantage of somebody. And it's like bottle on supports is fantastic, I believe. You know? Like 2 bottles on your team is definitely what I would go for. I wouldn't go for 1 these days. Like you always want 1 on your mid player, but even your offlaner now, they can have a bottle. They have pretty easy access, but even supports that can utilize it well.
How nice is it to be an offlaner right now? And like, you know, you go into the offlane that you know that you're not gonna get any last hit and maybe like no experience at all, and you just camp the rune, you get the first bounty rune. And you're like, okay, you just like, even if they deny a couple creeps, you still can get level 2 if you're close enough to experience range. A lot of supports like. I mean, Darkseer, which I think will start to be played a lot more now.
Yeah, I don't know why Darkseer has become non-existent. I think he's great against the 5-man lineup. You come in, you vacuum, you wall, and suddenly the team fight is pretty much yours. But
but it's not like a stable, like ultimate. I always find with a Darkseer. Like Darkseers play a very different scale of kind of effectiveness in the team fights. Like, they really do, like, in my opinion. And Darkseer scales very well with farm, but you just have to make sure that with your Darkseer, you're able to put something with it that destroys a team fight. Because Darkseers don't destroy a team fight by themselves.
Here's the thing.
They stop you from pushing into the tower, but if you can't capitalize on the vacuum wall, people will just run away.
That is true. They don't win by themselves, but the fact is that they don't only scale very well into the late game, but they also scale with the enemies.
Yeah.
And like the fact that comeback mechanics makes it so that if you get a good team fight when you're behind, you'll get a lot.
Well,
you can actually capitalize as a Darkseer the fact that if you win a team fight against a very farm team, which the wall will help you, you'll be able to come back faster.
Yeah, but what James is saying, like, you got to pick Darkseer with somebody, and generally teams don't pick Darkseer alone.
Four other heroes, of course.
Yeah, but Jakiro is also extremely common. People picking 5-man lineups in general, it's not necessarily just about the vacuum wall either. I mean, obviously it's really good.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that hitting like a 5-man vacuum wall isn't like fight winning in the very least that the other team would have to run, but it's also about like positional play. Like think of Mini Centaur, for example, like just inserting somebody into a good spot. Like you just partner with Bat Rider or any other hero that wants to initiate, and you basically ensure that one hero is going to be completely out of position. It's just like utilizing the hero in a different way other than thinking, okay, this is solely a 5-man pushing or stop pushing.
I mean, I like Naga Siren and Darkseer, but then you always have the problem that your Naga Siren doesn't actually really want to fight. So you're kind of like, you're Darkseer and you're like, hey guys, I've been farming.
What about support Naga Siren?
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Who was it? You like support Naga Siren? Someone was saying yesterday that they really like the hero.
Not me.
I don't know.
No one actually likes Naga Siren.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah, it is true.
It's like the guilty pleasure. When you random Naga in a game, you're like, yes. But inside, you're like deep down, you're like, God, I'm an awful person.
Yeah, when I random Naga, I just repick.
You repick?
Yeah, I don't know.
What do you repick when you...
I repick Chen and Enchantress.
Fair enough.
I repick Meepo. Depending on, if I'm playing ranked, I don't repick anything else. Those are the only 3 heroes that I'll repick, basically. But if I'm playing with my friends, I pretty much repick any support.
Do you repick junglers because you're bad at them or because you don't think they can win on their own?
Probably a mixture of both. I'm definitely not a fantastic micro player, as anybody who's watched me play Meepo probably knows. It's not great. But I think it's easier to play Chen and Enchantress than Meepo, obviously.
Who's the guy that plays a lot of Chen? Sniff, right?
Rank 2 in Chen.
Yeah.
In the whole world.
How many games? Like 1,000?
2,000.
2,000 Chen games. Can you win a game by playing Chen?
I think you can.
Apparently
if you're really good at him, I think he is a crazy game-winning hero.
Basically, he's like when he plays it, he will always try and get like the towers. Like the whole game plan on his Chen is like level 3, get tower. And he'll also smoke gank mid a lot. I played against him. He beats me because like Silence is a really bad hero versus Chen. It's fucking horrible having these creeps run at you, and you don't want stuff hitting you. But when I play against him, yeah, he beats me when I play with him. I'm also ranked on my Silencer, by the way.
Oh, you are?
What ranked are you?
Well, take a guess, Lumi. I'll tell you. It's like when you're chatting up a girl, and then she's like, how old are you? Like, guess.
I'm flattered. Well, 5.
No.
Rank 5? No.
It's top 1,000, right? That they actually start getting your number.
Yeah.
No, I thought you were
102.
No, higher than I would lower. 241.
I thought they only ranked 1 to 50.
Huh?
No, 1 to 1,000.
Yeah.
On Dota buff. Yeah.
I'm not on the front 100, but I've only played like small games. Vanscore is actually ranked number 1, and I used to teach him English.
Did you really though?
No.
Okay.
Hey, you know what?
It's okay, James.
I think we actually have a game.
Do we?
Yes.
A game or 3 games?
Well, a game.
Okay.
But hopefully we'll have the other 2 while the...
Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Right.
1 game.
One game, no promises.
We're still getting paid, right?
I think.
I would hope so. Did you sign the contracts yet?
Yeah, I did.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, but they haven't signed it.
Oh. Damn.
Just my signature.
It's a pretty signature.
We'll take a break, and hopefully people will
No,
have...
wait, what?
Why are we taking a break?
We're not taking a break.
I don't wanna
Why are we
take
taking a break?
I mean, Bruno gets very upset when he's not on camera
I
for a
see.
certain period of time per day.
We saw that earlier, didn't we? Okay, well, we will have the game right now and hope you guys enjoy it. It's MVP Phoenix
that what we're doing?
versus IG.
Yeah.
Yes, we are.
Oh, cool.
Great.
Who's playing again?
MVP Phoenix versus IG.
What league are we in?
ASUS ROG Dreamleague Season 2.
Nice.
A2 Division, Asia.
All right.
All right, I'm going to clap and leave.
I need a chair. There's only 1 chair over here, Andy.
That's okay.
Where'd your chair go?
They've forgotten about me.
We're missing a chair. This whole thing's gone to shit.
We're going to have to share this monitor, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
Actually, no.
Thank you.
Yeah, got it.
This is a special chair, Andy. It's actually the same chair.
We don't even have to share it, to be honest. I can stand over there.
Whoa, let's put it low.
Unless
All right.
I can do this.
Oh, thank you very much. We're all getting in ready for this.
IG knows. They immediately banned the Corobulus.
Are you gonna?
I can see that. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Should be fine.
All right. Yeah. So welcome to our first game of today. It's going to be MVP Phoenix versus Invictus Gaming. 3 best of 1s.
10 seconds remaining.
We're actually, we are casting off replays.
5 seconds remaining.
But you guys don't know where the replays are, so no one knows the results. And the main reason is because it's very late right now where they are, and
it's like what, 2 or 3 a.m. when they play these games?
They actually played them today.
Yeah.
And they literally finished playing them, I think, like 2 hours ago. And they had to play all 3 games. So we don't, if there was just 2 games, we know someone won 2-0.
That's true.
But it's all 3 games, so we don't know. And already in the bans and picks, Def Prophet going to be removed from Invictus Gaming. March is going to be drafting for MVP Phoenix, and he's going to take out the Brewmaster. I agree with that. Brewmaster is a pain in the bum.
Pretty ridiculous hero. And both of these bans kind of reflect the same thing that we were kind of talking about during the pregame is everybody really kind of wants to have strong 5-man nowadays. Like, fighting is the way right now. Like, 6.82 patch is all about just good positional play, being able to fight, not necessarily having like the shortest cooldown ultis, but things that will ensure that you can win the fight on your own terms. So I really think that banning out like just these 3 heroes pretty much are the de facto just fight winners.
10 seconds
and Razor as well. It does sorry, I'm losing my English as I've been drinking. No, it does leave the Viper in, which is a very strong hero in terms of presence and team fights. Kind of acts similar as a Razor, maybe not so strong as a Razor in my opinion in the current meta. But it's really, I'm impressed that MVP Phoenix take away the Centaur and also the Brew. I think those are 2 very strong heroes currently in the meta. And then the Brew is just like, it's such a forgiving hero. Like you can initiate like in a team fight as a Brew in a fight that you shouldn't win, but because you have ulti, it's just like, it's such a nightmare to fight against. So removing that Brew, they don't want to go up against that. And they're actually going to go for a Terrorblade. So MVP here, want to get a little bit of farm. And Terrorblade, not going to be great in the early game in terms of fights. You're going to see a lot of no talismans. Yeah, no talismans. How many?
Wraith bands.
Wraith bands. Yeah.
Yeah. The thing is, when
no talismans, what I get.
Yes.
I play Science.
It's okay.
And I get 6.
6 of them. No boots.
Reserve time.
Running fast is overrated.
Yes.
Basically. Okay. I wanted to make sure we're on the same page.
Just still 100 in 1 hit. It's good.
But I like the Terrorblade's really strong, even after the nerfs, to the people who don't know. He got a 25 movement speed nerf on his Metamorphosis, so very similar to what Lone Druid does when he goes from ranged ult form. You get a little bit slower. And the illusions now take a extra 125% increased damage, I think. It's really weird. Like the wording of the illusions and how they take damage is really weird. So basically the illusions are slightly less tanky and they move a little bit slower when you're in Metamorphosis. Also, Sunder does not mini stun anymore, which means that you can't stop TPs and things like that. But I think the cast range was increased by a little bit. Bruno's not listening, so he can't nod if I was right or wrong. It's fine.
And also to mention, you can use Sunder on your own teammates.
Yeah.
And some twat did that to me the other day in lane because he didn't want to die.
You could always do that. But yeah, it was increased to 350.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to make sure I was right. So.
Well, I actually didn't know you could use Sunder on your teammates until this guy did it to me, and I lost all my health and died. And he was like, sorry, I didn't want to die. And I was like, no problem. And I commended him.
You were a good teammate.
No, MVP. All right, so Naga Siren and Dazzle. Naga Siren, most likely you're going to see it in a carry position. Always good with a Dazzle in terms of the heal. Will be awesome in terms of hitting all the illusions, doing extra damage, and yeah, Dazzle's a nice support in terms of team fights. But you are going to need the levels. Falling behind on a Dazzle is very painful.
5 seconds.
But we'll see. They're able to play that Dazzle pretty greedy because they're up against a Terrorblade, which is greedy as well as Nature's Prophet, and then the Naga Siren's also going to be playing a very similar game to the Terrorblade. So probably not going to be too much pressure on this Dazzle in terms of like having to fight or rotate around to help lanes. But Nature's Prophet.
I would actually say that this Dazzle could be an aggressive pick, because Dazzle as a lane support is ridiculously strong, right? High base damage, good animation, 600 range. You partner with a Naga Siren +1. The heal bomb with the ensnare is always really good, especially with Riptide. You have the minus armor. You're against a Terrorblade who has like base HP of less than 500. I mean, if you want to go aggro here, it's always like an option for IG, and I say that a lot, but no one ever really does it.
5
I don't know why,
seconds
because people
remaining.
don't want to go aggressive lanes anymore. Just everybody just goes defensive
I
and
think
farms.
I think like pro gamers consider like an aggressive lane almost like a gamble, because if you lose your tri lane, you're done.
MVP
Even if you should win it, you know, there's always
time
like that element of like, oh, if we fuck this up, you know, our carry is fucked and our supports are fucked because you're not able to pull in the aggressive. But I would go aggressive tri lane with you, Andy.
Would you?
Any day.
All right, sick. So for a third hero, then, what
We
would
just
you
need a friend.
What would you brainstorm?
Silencer. No, it's a really bad pick. No, it's fine. Silencer.
No, Silencer is actually not that bad. Just because,
Like Lich is good.
I mean, you want to shut him down in lane, right? Like Terrorblade has some recovery, but the biggest problem with him normally is that if you leave him alone, is that the offlane tier 1's going to die when he hits level 3, basically. Like you have a couple of images out, you Metamorphosis, and you have a Nature's Prophet who can TP up there as well. The tower can die extremely early, and that also opens up the supports that we don't know what MVP Phoenix are going to be picking yet to move around, if that's going to be the case.
MVP
And they also go with another hero who I believe CSW actually used, which is Musica's team. And they played it against a Terrorblade and did extremely well. Like just mass AoE damage output, Lightning Storm max. Like it was a farming track.
Yeah, Lightning Storm is so good.
Very spammable, like 4-second cooldown.
And it has
like
that slow on it now, which was not a recent change, but did come into effect. And it's really nice for chasing.
And you
the
can
damage
also
output's
throw it
huge.
in the tri lane if you wanted to.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't think you'd have a because this is what I said about Naga Siren to someone who's playing it. They were like, I was just like, you don't actually need to worry too much about getting your levels. You just need to hit every single last hit creep.
Right.
And so when I was playing in a lane with somebody, I was just like, it's okay if I am in your lane with you, you know, even though your lane's easy, just to like shut down the any chance that the off laner is going to be able to contest, you know, like a Timber for your, you know, creeps. And I'm literally stood between the Timber and the Naga as a silencer, just being a dick. And yeah, so it's like I took some XP because I wasn't pulling or rotating, but someone else was. But, you know, it worked out well. And I think that's how you need to make sure a Naga gets played in terms of just making sure you get the gold, because naturally as you get the gold, you'll end up getting the levels because you can farm the whole map if you get a good start. Again, with the bans of MVP Phoenix, taking out 2 good teamfight heroes after the original 2, which is Tidehunter and Batrider. So they definitely worried about, you know, how this is going to go down, but they've left a pretty scary, you know, Naga Siren, Dazzle, and the Shrek, and it'll be interesting to see what Invictus Gaming are going to throw in as their remaining cores, because that's what I think is going to really dictate if Invictus Gaming are going to be in charge of this game.
Well, as far as it goes right now for MVP, like the Tide and the Bat ban, if their team has 2 extremely good split pushing heroes. Obviously, Nature's Prophet blooms a little bit later than a Terrorblade does, but you don't want the looming sense of Blink Ravage or Blink Initiation from a Bat and a Lasso on one of the heroes that's trying to push out a lane, because that means that not only do you have to worry about Song, but you just have another threat that is just too much, and you want to be able to push the pace yourself, more or less. And with IG's bans, they take out 2 heroes that are really good at stopping aggression. If you think about walking into a tombstone or trying to engage past a fissure, it's very difficult, especially when you're playing these types of heroes that don't necessarily have a lot of HP. So IG now have the combo of Liquid Fire with Jakiro, and they have Leshrac with Diabolic Edict. They can definitely play aggressive here, and they can take down towers. I'm thinking that Jakiro might be in a farming role. Not 100% sure.
I would say that he probably will be.
Yeah, if they end up doing that.
I'm actually saying they could be going aggressive tri-lane with what you thought and put Jakiro
and just put Jakiro bottom.
Yeah.
And then they can last pick a mid.
I think the Visage pick was actually maybe expecting there could be an aggressive tri-lane from the first 3 heroes, because that was picked up after the Shrek, and it's a monster in the tri-lanes. And also Ogre Magi, in terms of the amount of HP he brings to the table and armor, just base armor, he's very hard to actually just click down, even if you are going to Riptide with your Naga Siren to reduce some of the armor. He starts with like, what, 7 armor, 6 armor?
I think so, 6 or 7. Yeah. I want to say he actually has 7, because with the Ring of Protection you have 10, I'm pretty sure.
10 seconds.
So Ring of Protection was back to give you 3, wasn't it?
Yeah, 200 gold, 3 armor.
Yeah.
5 seconds remaining.
It'd be nice to see some tri-lanes against each other. That means the Nature's Prophet.
Reserve time.
I mean, when you put the Nature's Prophet where? You put the Terrorblade where? You're going to be having Terrorblade on your safe lane, Nature's Prophet mid, and then you're looking for an offlaner.
If MVP assumes that it's going to be like 1v1 bottom, and it's aggro tri-lane, so that's why they picked the Ogre, then there's a good chance that it's going to be Prophet versus Jakiro, and the mid hasn't been picked yet for MVP, which is possible. I'd really, really like to see MVP get some semblance of team fight, because right now, in a full-on engagement, IG have a huge advantage. Like, they can disengage whenever they want. They have Weave at their disposal. You're not going to be able to focus a target down very well with the Visage combo and an Ogre because you have Grave to worry about as well.
10 seconds
so that
remaining.
combo is supposed to be just like an instant eliminate a hero from a fight, but in most cases it might not be. And then you have to assume that if it is an aggressive lane and MVP lose that lane, then they're going to be playing from behind with a Terrorblade and a Prophet, which is very hard to recover with.
They need to be ahead on items with the Terrorblade and Prophet for this lineup to currently work for them. Because, yeah, you're right. The Visage and Ogre Magi aren't going to be able to secure kills, you know, and the backup of Nature's Prophet and Terrorblade, it's just like, well, Terrorblade kind of stands there and you can disengage on the Terrorblade if that's the case. Oh, my God, we're going to see a Sven. He must pick up an Aghanims.
Turn to pick.
I like Sven in this lineup.
Yeah, Sven's really strong. It's, well, not a guaranteed stun. You can disjoin it now, but it's against this team, it pretty much is because nobody's going to get like a blink or anything like that. No one's even going to get a Yules on the side of MVP, so a hero who, again, adds quite a bit to a push, plus armor. God Strength is obviously good damage-wise. The tower is not going to be hitting very much because Liquid Fire Edict. This is a lineup to me that wants to already control the game by like 15 minutes in. Like, you want all the towers dead.
If you're ahead and you get a blink on that Sven, even with a very limited amount of items behind it, you know, maybe just a drums or something, and even before the BKB, just being able to blink in and have Dazzle back you up, that'd be huge. And we're going to see a Pugner as the last pick, so add something in terms of being able to push. If you don't, you know, be able to disjoint the ultimate of the Pugner, it can be really annoying. You can heal up your teammates. But I think they've got way too much utility Invictus Gaming to lose this game.
Well, their fighting is clearly stronger.
I don't like MVP Phoenix's lineup at all.
The one thing I do like about the Pugna is that it shows that they understand what IG want to do. And if you drop another ward and the fight is drawn out, the Nether Ward actually does a substantial amount of damage to a team who has a lot of spam, right? Like Dazzle, Leshrac, Jakiro, all very spam-centric heroes. Like, you want to use a lot of Shadow Waves and Graves and stuff like that.
Just song and kill it.
Or the other alternative is that since now you have a Pugna, that hero pushes faster than most other heroes do pre-6. You think heroes like Death Prophet or whatever can push a little bit faster with their ulti on, but if you're looking to trade and draw out the game, Pugna's a great choice because it makes it so your push is comparable to what IG has, and you don't have to necessarily take the direct engagement. So it actually gives you two alternatives instead of just saying, okay, well, we're going to try to defend tier 1s and maybe get an okay trade in the laning phase, but we'll see.
Do you think they're an experienced enough team, MVP Phoenix, to be able to outplay Invictus Gaming on the map in terms of rotations and objectives?
If your only goal is to avoid team fights, then I think they could probably do that quite easily, to be honest, with this type of lineup.
Sven just scales so well, especially with a Dazzle behind him. Anyway, let's introduce the members of both teams, and we can do it as Weppers' choice. So first up is the Pugna, he in Dota. And then Weppers is going to take us to this guy playing the Terrorblade. QO, I'm not sure what his name is going to be. Ryzen going to be playing the Visage.
That is his name, QO.
Oh, okay, good. March is going to be playing the Ogre Magi. And then on the off lane is going to be Foray. As we mentioned, you thought it was going to go to the off lane. Chuan, as well as CH. Who's CH for that team? Because you got Luo there. I don't know which one CH is. Invictus Gaming.
Oh, God.
New guy? I'm not sure.
It is a new guy.
CH. They're all going to be there on the offensive tri lane. Ferrari going to be handling the Naga mid. Illusion. And as Andy Googles who that is, we go to the safe lane. And we missed the first blood. We have a replay though, so we can actually go back. It's going to be June. So that was, sorry about that, Weppers. Maybe I was taking too long to identify the people, but basically there was a stun and then there was death.
More or less.
Poor Weppers.
And that's really the least thing that you want to happen in that lane. It's Sheesbug? Sheesbug? I just didn't know how to say his name. I don't know actually how you're supposed to say it. It's something Bug. I'm just going to call him Bug.
Sheesbug.
Yeah.
Sheesbug. My favorite player. Love Sheesbug. Surprised I forgot.
So this is more or less what I was expecting in terms of lanes. I'm actually happy to see IG go aggressive here because it shows that they understand the weakness of Terrorblade. Like, he is so punishable in lane. It's actually quite easy. And QO is going to be walking forward here.
Here comes
He's going to be able to get the reflection off. Chuan looking for an opening perhaps. He wants a stun, gets it on 2. March and Ryzen both going to eat these stuns. Chuan secures himself yet another kill.
Block him.
And this tri lane looks to already be going completely terribly for MVP.
What do you think game 2 will look like?
Is under attack.
I'm just saying, like, the Terrorblade is very punishable. And
yeah, no, you're right.
Picking it first, like, that shows some real chutzpah.
Well, they picked the Visage to be like, yeah, we need this because if it is going to be a tri-lane, you know, the Visage. But I think the Sven last pick was awesome because I thought the Naga Siren was going to be there. But Sven's just so much more potent in these lanes. You just saw a double stun there from Tron. And Ferrari can still sit middle and just have a really decent trade. You can see him 6-1.
Luo again going to be dropping.
Luo's not going to die either. They can't chase him. And there's the Grave. And that's going to be... I don't know if Reason will be able to go down here. Oh, yep, they are going to Storm, and there's another kill. So 5-0, very reminiscent actually of me. Kind of, this is like me leading my team, say, against like another studio like BTS. Like this would probably be, you know, me being 5-0 up. So I understand where they are, and they just need to not get too confident, no matter how good they look. That's what IG need to do from here on in, Andy.
I mean, the saving grace of MVP was supposed to be Forev on the Nature's Prophet teleporting top lane to try to help secure kills, right? Because that's the one thing that...
What level is Nature's Prophet now? Like 3, I guess?
They're going to be so far behind that even with Forev TPing, it's probably not going to matter that much.
He's not going to do anything. He's like going to hit him for 64 damage. Minus the armor that they get through a hill.
I don't know, this is looking...
Running through a Diabolic Edict. Actually, there's no Diabolic Edict there. It's just
the problem with being behind for MVP in the early game is that they don't have a big turnaround mechanism, right? Like, they don't have, like, a big ulti they can fall back on just to be able to push or something like that. They basically rely on their lanes at least going... Even if they lose, they can't lose by this much. Because when you get crushed this badly, if you look at the hero levels right now, like, Chuan's almost level 3. And I'm pretty sure MVP right now are barely level 2.
They can actually just go again. Like, if that Terrorblade stands a little bit more aggressive, even March and the Visage back up, like, they don't even care. Like, not even in the positioning. And they are going to go on Luo, so they've, like, identified their target. They love horse meat.
I mean, this is a really good engagement, though, because they didn't actually get the kill on their target with the 1 stun. March came in from behind and stopped.
I don't think they should have actually gone on that because he was too far away. When he was closer to the creep wave, if he came in for a last hit, I think that was a guaranteed kill. But they tried it. At least they're kind of asserting what they think is like, you know, we are ahead in the tri-lane and want to be. And Ferrari here going to exchange with Heen in the middle on his Pugna. Pugna actually doing pretty well, as you expect with the mid lane. Runes are going to be spawning soon, and we'll have to see what this Nature Prophet is going to bring to the table, because I don't think, even if the Pugnas rotates around, you open up the problem if the Naga Siren doesn't need to rotate and will just keep farming, and there's no guarantee you're going to get kills with a Pugna. It's not a great chasing hero. And as the rune spawns, Tron's going to throw in another stun, but this March, he's got 7 armor. He might be able to walk it off. Does stun Tron, and we are going to see Heen here, so this could go badly, and we are going to have a TP in. 4A comes, Tron's going to get graved up, and he gets blocked out with the Sprout. He hits another 2-man stun, but no Raisins here as well. It takes 4 to take him down, but they do so, and that's something, at least in the favor of MVP here, and yeah.
Just a bit of overconfidence, really.
That's what I said.
I mean, chasing like that is...
Tron thinks he's very handsome. And
optimistic. And I mean, the thing is, they left June up here by himself, so they knew they didn't have a follow-up stun. I'm pretty sure that Cheesebug doesn't even have a point in the poison touch, but they're going to go on QO right here. Stun follow-up's going to be going through straight away. That's going to be a killing spree for him. Or Luo, excuse me, not June.
Yeah, so what I was mentioning earlier was if the Pugna is actually going to have to rotate to help the lane out, it's the worst person to rotate just because the Naga Siren gets free farm mid.
Yeah.
Right? And that's, you just don't want that. You want your Nature's Prophet to rotate. So luckily they took a fight where they didn't actually have to rotate.
Just TPs into a double stun yet again, and the healing wave comes out from Cheesebug and gets yet another kill. Soul Assumption almost killing him, but not quite.
I think they can go.
Chuan has another stun in about 3 seconds. Warcry's off cooldown. Split Earth is going to connect here. Teleport reaction coming in from 2 members of MVP. March eating yet another Stormbolt. Cheesebug, he's got the Grave on. No TP though, gonna try to run away here. Should end up dropping eventually. And there's the life drain. 1 more hit from Forever will secure that kill. And it looks like Luo and Chuan are gonna be able to escape to the river.
So IG give up a couple of kills after getting a few. Nice rotation by the Nature's Prophet. It's really painful actually when you have to send almost everybody back to base. You'll notice that Chuan, as well as I think it's Luo, might actually go all the way back to base. And it's not great when you leave that Terrorblade for any time really in the lane. So Terrorblade actually is going to now be bottom against the Jakiro. How's the Jakiro doing? It's 26-8 in June.
Well, I mean, 4F's had a TP all over the place. So the one downside to that is that since June's going the max liquid fire build, super standard, it means that your tower is going to be taking a ton of damage. I would actually say that as a solo pusher, Jakiro's probably one of the best, if not the best, if he's left alone in the lane.
So if I was IG now, I would take Chuan to other lanes other than the tri lane. Yeah, okay. So he's actually going to TP bottom. Going to go on to 4A. June's there as well. Got a nice path. Will hit. A couple more hits will get the kill, but March is going to come in with a stun. June losing a little bit on his health, trying to run away. Chuan's going to be like, nope, this is not a great idea. Luo now coming in for support is going to hit a lightning storm into a stun, and that Terrorblade is not.
He's not having a great time. I mean,
it's not optimal.
Are fortified.
I mean, he's not really living up to his name of terror. You know what I mean? It's like,
oh, March. He's going to be eating the stun combo here as well. Dies just under the tier 2. Tier 1's going to be dropping as well. June got the last hit on that, and it's 10-2. At just about 7 minutes in, and I mean, even though there's been a couple of rebuttal kills from MVP, you can definitely see the IG just know, like they have the full advantage. And the thing is, this whole time, Ferrari just gets to do whatever the heck he wants.
He's farming the enemy jungle. He's happy, and the Dazzle actually just holding the lane pretty easily. Apart from maybe not that easily. I'm not sure what happened to his HP up against the Pugna, but maybe we can guess.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Is it Blast? Nether Blast.
Nether Blast, yeah.
But I would like this Dazzle to get something almost. I don't know. Like, would you do a mech on Jakiro? I know he probably goes for yours as Ferrari gets sprouted. Just probably going to walk this off with his 13 armor.
Yeah, he should be just fine. But as far as the 5-man goes, I think that I
was going to say like a medallion, but maybe it's not even needed.
Probably not. We're going to see Heen just get evaporated here by a double stun. Inside the river, Ferrari's going to be forced to pop a song. Yeah, he doesn't have a TP, but he should be able to just walk away. He's even got his bottle on the career, waiting for the Ignite to wear off.
He's got He's Bug coming middle.
He's Bug, yes. Luo getting a solo kill on QO. That's a little bit unfortunate. I mean, honestly, at this, is he even level 6? Is it Terrorblade level 6? I'm pretty sure he's not. No. He's level 5. And they're going to be losing their second tier 1 here. The only tier 1 that's going to be remaining is going to be mid. March has an invis. Going to be walking up, maybe looking to set up a kill here on June, but that is still a very, very tanky hero. Ice Pass going to land. Chuan's here to support stun as well. Dual Breath lands, and there's the healing wave. Just obliterates him with
level 3.
Yeah, it is level 3. And March now with the weave, getting dove onto the tower. Chuan doesn't have enough mana to stun, but I don't really think it matters. There's another Ice Path coming in from June.
Like, I feel this is like a bad movie where soon we're going to hear like a Rocky theme come out, and then MVP are just going to power up and come back. But I don't think it's going to happen, because that's like, you know, this is like the start of, you know, like everything goes bad for the heroes, and then, you know, the Rocky theme comes in.
And then like Bruce Willis or Tom Cruise saves you, right?
Yeah, no, there's like a montage video, you know, in terms of like, you know, they're training and working out, pressing a lot of
But that was supposed to be before this game.
Yeah, well, maybe they do it in game 2, but this certainly is a different caliber of play in game number 1.
Well, we also have to...
The map's gone. Like, this is GG moment. If your Terrorblade can't farm, you are done with the game. You've got a Midas on your Nature's Prophet. There's a twin-headed dragon behind your tier 2 tower. And Ferrari is currently 4,200 on net worth. March, one of the scariest heroes normally in the game, just having to run away from a Dazzle at level 4. QO can't even back him up in this situation. Like, nothing's going to happen. And
from this sleep you will not wake.
It's looking pretty ugly. QO's trying to make his way out here. He might be able to get away. June actually gets the mid-tier 1 alone, just due to Liquid Fire, just how good of an ability it is. When you're like this ahead, and you're able to walk from lane to lane, just spamming Liquid Fire on towers, this is what makes Jakiro the pick that everybody wants to put solo. Because if you get to this point in the game, it's just free map control. Because you never have to stop pushing with the attack speed slow.
Don't do anything against Liquid Fire.
It's unbelievably strong in these types of lineups. And I think more than anything else, even if we say that IG did outplay MVP, which clearly they have because they're completely dominating, even past the point of just saying it's a draft issue, we're going to see Ryzen and March probably both die here. No real rebuttal coming out from MVP. But when you show a Terrorblade immediately, there is really only one thing that hero can do. And this goes back, like, not even just 6.81, but so many patches ago, people stopped picking that very predictable kind of lineup for that reason. because you just get hard countered. And then all of a sudden it's like, okay, you can say that Ryzen died in the river for First Blood, and maybe that's why their tri-lane didn't go well. But even after that, you can get away with one death, right? But they were just dying over and over and over, and there was not a chance that they could really do anything about it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the First Blood obviously helped him, as you mentioned, but I think it would have gone somewhat similar.
Yeah.
With Terrorblade in this lane.
I think that what they wanted,
have like so much experience of having to shut down what is a hard carry, because they've played many games where people are like, this is our hard carry and this is what we wanted to win the game, and they're like, yep, we're just going to remove that. And this is, you know, it's one of the best things about Dota is in terms of like in the laning phase, it's what are you trying to slow down? And it was a Terrorblade and they did a great job, so they're going to reap the rewards for now. An 18-2 score as June is trying to get away, and they are going to turn onto March. And comes a 3-man Ice Path. 4A also taking a lot of damage here. June going to be Shadow Grave. QO just trying to do something from the side. Raisin comes in, wants to kill Luo, but he's a little bit too tanky. Might even have braces on his horsey. And QO looking maybe to go down. And wow, there was a Yules on top of the Visage Soul Assumption, and nobody dies. Look at
this is like the opposite of the Game of Thrones
episode. What items do they have on the Strack, by the way?
He's going.
Oh, he's actually got a point booster. That's why he took like such little damage. His HP is pretty huge.
I don't know. I feel like even if this was a pretty big outdraft by IG, if MVP were able to get their tri-lane to level 2 before they died, it might have been a little bit different. Because if you assume Grave Chill, Soul Assumption, you get a reflection on somebody with Metamorphosis, you could potentially get a kill of 4 FTPs, right? Like maybe that was their game plan. Maybe you just wait until level 2, teleport the Prophet top. I can see where they wanted to go with it, but I still feel as though when you show your hand so early, because they picked both those heroes in conjunction, right? They picked the Prophet and the Terrorblade. Yeah. So it had to have crossed IG's mind, and they're just going to be diving into the base here for Heen. He does have a Decrepify, going to cast it. Chuan and she's bugged maybe a little bit too far. Just going to back out, though. Soul Assumption comes in, and looks like he's going to get the kill with the poison touch damage. Yep. That's a level... Oh, he earned him as well, I think.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the Un's on cooldown. Has 0 chance exact range of getting the kill. Almost got a Radiance completed for the Naga Siren of Ferrari. Checking over the Terrorblade. He's doing equally well on farm here. Oh, no, wait. He's got boots. But soon.
Soon.
Yeah. Yeah, it is... And... As you mentioned, the Jakiro is going to allow them to sit in front of the tower. Yeah, but you're right. I actually think that it's the Sven that was the last pick that really messed them up for the tri-lane, because I think they could have done like pretty okay versus a Naga Siren.
It's just that guaranteed high damage stun that you need.
Yeah, it's like if the Naga Siren was in the tri-lane, I think the Visage and Ogre Magi would have been pretty confident, because like they're pretty good, resilient in terms of their armor values, etc. versus. Melee attacks, so the Naga Siren and the heal wouldn't have done maybe too much, but with the Sven, just to guarantee that stun into Split Earth, it's too much.
Dire's bottom tower.
Well, tier 3 is going to fall, and MVP with only 2 kills on the board are going to be looking to try to defend this. There are some familiars out now, so maybe their damage up will be more than enough. She's Bug getting a little bit low, going to throw out the Grave. Counter stun coming in on Ryzen, and Lua is going to secure himself yet another kill. Is Chuan actually going to go down here? Pops the War Cry. That heal and Wand Charge, bringing him up back in fighting shape. The Ice Path once again hits on 2. March drops. QO trying to get back inside of the base. One more stun comes in from Luo, and it's just double kills for days. And the GG well played is called at, what is that, 14, 15 minutes?
14, 40 seconds. Ouch. Radiant's finished. There we go. Good job, Ferrari. You contributed.
Honestly, though, like...
They won 4v5.
They really did. They really, really did. And it's unfortunate because, again, we were kind of talking about MVP coming into this matchup, and this is one game out of the 3.
Yeah, but now it's the Rocky theme music.
Right, and they're going to be running up the stairs, and they're going to get to the top, and it's going to be like...
MVP coach, everyone's running right now.
Okay.
I mean, there was a lot of running in that game, away from Invictus Gaming, but lots of running, Rocky theme.
Hey, to be fair, Rocky loses the first movie.
Yeah.
So he will have the revenge against Apollo Creed. Only Apollo Creed wasn't as good as I